This week on the SEO Weekly, we've got the March core update, and I'm going to ask Dr. Marie Haynes for the lottery ticket numbers because obviously she saw it coming somehow. A whole bunch of GPT-4 shenanigans and a ton of conferences, including the launch of a brand new fun free tool from iPullRank, Orbitwise. If you want to check the relevancy of your content against a keyword and the top 10 results, we've got a tool for you to check it out. You can just click it in the description notes. But you know what? Let's get into it. Welcome back to the SEO Weekly, where queries are weird, advice is controversial, and everything depends. I'm your host, Garrett Sussman of iPullRank, and every week I cover everything going on in the world of SEO. We're talking Google updates, blog posts, all the freaking conferences that are going on, AI and SEO, tools, podcasts, webinars, you name it, I'm on it. If you're into this stuff, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, leave us a comment. Before my voice is completely gone, you'll see it go over the course of the whole episode, but let's dive in. So in Google News, big update. In fact, March 14th, Marie Haynes is sitting in front of her computer and thinks to herself, random thought. It's been 6 months since the last Google Core update. That's a long time. March 15th, Wednesday, boom, March Core update rolling out. 6 months, lots of volatility. Obviously, a lot has gone on in terms of ChatGPT and AI generation and volumes of new content. What are we seeing all over the place? In fact, Mordy tweeted the SEMrush sensor, which showed, on Thursday, boom, 8.2 on the SEMrush scale. We're talking massive volatility. Yes, there's been some polls that's saying there's some wins and some losses, standard core update. And if you've ever listened to SEO Battle Zone or some of the productions we put out, we have the episode on what you should do after a core algorithm update. I will let Mike King share. Take it away, Mike.
Nothing. A lot of people, when they hear algorithm update is come, they're so quick to start changing things right away. But what a lot of people don't understand is that Google's a software company and it's governed by the same things of any software company. And so in the case of Google search, it's not just one team. There are numerous teams that compose the Google search team. And so when there's an algorithm update, think of it as like a release for any other software product. And that release may be composed of a variety of components from various teams. And so they roll it out and then they may roll back pieces of it because they're not happy with how it worked. So I always tell everyone, wait at least 2 weeks before they start making any decisions. Wait until 2 weeks until you even start doing any real meaningful analysis of what's happened. Because more often than not, those dips may be temporary. And so acting too quickly, like jerking the wheel back and forth, you may end up doing something that messes up your site's performance rather than fixing it. So I say do nothing until you get enough data to indicate that's truly what happened.
So March core update, we shall see. Like anything, just wait, just sit and wait. Don't do anything rash. We'll see what happens, but no big surprises, just hopefully spam getting spammed down and bad content being pushed down and all the fluctuations moving in the good people's favors, whatever that means. In the world of AI and SEO, well, less SEO, more AI, but we covered GPT-4 coming to be released, and boom, last Monday, dropped hot. Charles Wargnier covered in the first 48 hours the ridiculous use cases that were coming throughout the internet. I mean, in the initial demo, we're going to write and draw a website on a napkin, and boom, GPT-4 is going to actually create the code for that website, JavaScript and all. We've got taking a picture of my refrigerator and giving me recipes. Although, just because you see a lot of fruit and making a fruit salad, that's not as impressive as it sounds, but still really freaking impressive. Coding to make Pong, creating an app that will recommend a Netflix movie, like 5 Netflix movies every single day. What's going to happen in the next month 2 months, years is just going to be a game changer. One common tweet I saw was the idea that every business, every industry is going to be disrupted. The whole idea of a 5-year plan is kind of out the window at this point because you can't even predict how this technology is going to impact everything. That said, maybe surprisingly, the GPT-4 version large language model is trained on 2021 and earlier documents. It is not up to date. So remember those limitations. It is not going to be able to cover or help you out with any new information. It's a large language model, not a knowledge model. That means it still will be factually inaccurate from time to time. In fact, and I'm sorry to name and shame, but Joe Davies, no, ChatGPT-4 cannot get search volume for keywords currently. It does not work like that. And there was some trolling in the Twitter quote tweets of that post that he made. It won't give monthly search volumes and SEO difficulty. Otherwise, really freaking awesome. Continue to balance the value of what it can do and the limitations of what it can. You gotta understand the tech in order to use it appropriately. Frankly, there's just too much AI stuff to cover, whether it's Google releasing AI in Google Workplace. So, over the next month, we'll see in Google Docs the ability to do generative AI and Gmail, all that jazz, to Google's, invested in ChatGPT competitor Anthropic, launched Claude, which is, we'll see what happens. That's a new one coming out. If you want to stay up to AI, obviously follow Dr. Marie Haynes. She's very much in AI and SEO. I'll still continue to cover it on the SEO Weekly, but Ben Tossell has a really great newsletter, Ben's Bites, which the link's in the description, and he's covering everything that's going on because there's just so much. You can do entire SEO Weeklies just about AI. Obviously, if you've been watching the SEO Weekly over the past few weeks, I've been covering everything related to AI and SEO, the do's, the don'ts, the good stuff, the limitations. We have our AI and content and SEO guide from iPullRank that you can download. But if you want another succinct summary, Lily Ray of Amps Digital did a fantastic SMX Munich presentation. She shared the slide deck. She goes through her perspective on where it's appropriate to use AI generation and where it's not, how that all plays into EEAT, also in the context of product reviews and helpful content updates. So really awesome presentation from Lily. And she does a fantastic use of AI generated images that look really futuristic and badass. So check out that. You have to deal with SlideShare, which is the most annoying platform these days. Slide, add. Anyway, AI, moving on. It's SEO conference season. A couple of weeks ago, we had PubCon and WTS Fest. Last week, it was the very last Search Love ever. Distilled Brain Labs, they put together a fantastic series of events, and it has come to an end. Travis Talent was the MC. So many great presentations from Carrie Rose and Will Critchlow and Leda Solis and Will Reynolds and Ram Fishkin and Ross Simmons and Krista Seiden and Dana Di Tommaso, you name it, they're on. Our own Michael King gave his own How Search Engines Really Work in 2023. A bunch of the decks are available. For our own Michael King, we're holding that a little close to the chest, going to continue to make it the most bang out amazing deck ever, and then you'll be able to get that. And obviously, but if you don't know, Mike is writing basically a 600-page book on how search engines work, the science of SEO. That's coming out in August, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But Search Love, we love you. We hardly knew you. Well, no, you've been amazing. We're going to miss you. We need more SEO conferences. Let's do an SEO conference. Where are we going to do one? Let's do it. Okay. SEO conference. You have FOMO? I have FOMO. In Orbit 23 in Slovenia was last week as well. One other great presentation I want to call out is Gianluca Fiorelli talking all about visual search. So if you are in e-commerce and you have products, which you would in e-commerce, he put together a great presentation all about how you can gain visibility with images, best practices, using structured data, high quality images, where you can show up, where we're seeing more and more visibility, especially in the context of multimodal as Google has been rolling out across the search results more and more, so seeing more and more visuals. So if you need some tips on how to kind of optimize and make your visual images of your products appear more in search, check out his deck. Gianluca crushed it. Boom. So a couple of really cool technical-ish management articles on search engine land last week. First was Benu Agrawal talking all about deploying schema at scale. She goes through the process of the management of what you should do pre-deployment, deployment, and post-deployment in terms of QA, making sure everything is organized. You have your developers, your IT, your SEOs all on the same page when it comes to the schema that you want to implement, and obviously how to make sure that it's actually working the way that's intended. A really nice complimentary piece that was published by Holly Miller Anderson talking all about SEO product management key framework and fundamentals. So what Holly does is talk all about, the key important principles of being an SEO product manager, how you can prioritize your backlog, and then making sure that you communicate really effectively to developers without wasting their time. She actually has this really great, visual on examples of really good and really bad tickets for your developers to, accomplish an actual SEO task with like the just right example without providing no context versus too much context. Where's that Goldilocks just right situation? Fantastic post by Holly. Definitely check that out if you're an SEO product manager or if you work with developers in any capacity as an SEO. Fun little random SEO story, but out of nowhere, Tom Anthony wrote a really funny blog post last week all about the time that he hacked Google's manual actions database. In essence, in 2013, Google puts out a tool that lets you look at your own penalties, which at the time you really didn't know if you're being penalized at all. Through the API, he found a vulnerability where you could put in basically any domain and see the penalties for that given domain. Could be used for serious nefarious purposes, but Tom, being the good man that he is, submitted to the Bug Bounty program, submitted it to Matt Cutts. They took it down immediately. No harm, no foul. He got $5,000 out of it, never wrote about it publicly till now. It just makes you think. No one is infallible. Mistakes happen all the time, and there are good people out there like Mr. Tom. Speaking of SEO product management, if you watch the SEO Weekly, I've covered Adam Gent's The SEO Sprint in the past, his newsletter, where he gives kind of all of his insights in terms of working with developers as an SEO, getting things across the line, project management. Well, his course is releasing on Wednesday. There's actually a 10% discount code if you buy it either today or tomorrow. This is an affiliate. I just think very highly of Mr. Gent, but course is 6 weeks. Basically goes everything from like the SEO product manager mindset to discovery to strategy to the relationships with your developers, planning, and ultimately delivery. If it's anything like anything that Adam puts out, it's going to be dynamic and awesome and really, really helpful for your career. So anyone who has like 4+ years of SEO, this is for you. Check it out. Like I said, not getting any sort of payment for this, just think highly of Adam. So yeah, that's coming out. Also, as mentioned as the beginning, excited to share Orbitwise, a brand new free tool from iPullRank built by John Murch and Michael King. He referenced it in his Search Love presentation, all about how search engines work. But Orbitwise basically takes a complicated application of turning words into mathematic values and then being able to say, okay, how relevant is one word to another based on the mathematic equation. It sounds nuts, but it makes sense. And ultimately, it produces this cosine similarity, this relevancy score. Well, Orbitwise allows you to take a keyword, take your domain, and see what the top 10 results are and get their relevancy scores, as well as your own relevancy score that Google most likely uses in how it assesses how relevant content is to the specific query. It's free. It's so cool. Definitely check it out. The link to use it is in the comments. I hope you get a kick out of it. Please feel free to leave us your feedback on it, but Orbitwise, because, orbit, topics, gravity, bitwise, all connected. Yeah, pretty cool. And possibly without enough fanfare, the 100th episode of the Rankable podcast was last week, and I had iPullRank's own Michael Glavick join me. SEO, we talked all about this idea about the T-shaped SEO, right? Like the emergence of that, how you don't necessarily want to just be a generalist in SEO. It's really important to have a deep specialization, as well as knowing all the basics. That might be on the on-page kind of content side of SEO. It might be on the under the hood technical side of SEO, but being a T-shaped SEO makes a ton of sense as there's that much more talent out there in the world of SEO. Also, next Thursday, Zach Chahalis is joining me for a webinar all about website migrations and replatforming. If you know anyone who needs to migrate a website and everything that goes in from an SEO perspective, and how many times are SEO not even brought to the table and organic search just plummets, don't let it happen to you. There's so many steps to take. It's so critical. Zach's going to go through it all. You can register for free. The link is in the description notes. Please be there. It's going to be fun, or at least bookmark it for that moment that you do have a website redesign, migration, replatforming, because honestly, most companies do it every 2 to 3 years. That's it. Another episode of the SEO Weekly. I hope you enjoyed it. Lots of interesting stuff, lots of conferences, lots of tools, lots of AI generation. How are you feeling? Did I miss anything? Is there anything that I need to cover? As always, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like. Leave me a comment. Tell me I have great energy like Seth G does every other week. I really appreciate that, Seth, by the way. A little shout out there. My name is Garrett Sussman, Demand Generation Manager at iPullRank. It's been another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you next week.